A person who begins exploring the idea of a wealth identity soon notices it's never just about having money, it's about becoming someone who naturally aligns with prosperity. A wise mentor might chuckle and say, "Funny thing, money listens more to your energy than to your resume." This internal blueprint quietly shapes their vibrational self-image and influences every decision they make, even the ones they believe are purely logical. Without realizing it, they project signals that either attract wealth or push it away. This is the ground where money frequency starts to form long before cash appears. And once this blueprint is understood, nothing about their financial reality feels random anymore. He often explains that everyone is already broadcasting an emotional tone toward money, whether they notice it or not. Some radiate confidence, others radiate doubt, and the universe responds in kind. This subtle energy is where abundance identity begins to reveal itself in daily choices, nudging a person either toward expansion or contraction. Vibrational alignment acts like tuning a radio, making certain opportunities audible while others stay out of reach. When someone's signal is distorted, money avoids staying for long. But when their energetic posture matches their intentions, the entire experience shifts in surprising ways. Imagine someone who dreams of investing but always freezes before committing. The hesitation isn't about lack of knowledge, it's the old blueprint whispering insecurity. A wealthy mindset would behave differently, perhaps exploring ETFs, reputable stocks, or long-term index funds that create stability. Yet scarcity-trained instincts say, "Wait, it's risky." This small moment shows how money resonance quietly dictates behavior. People swear they're deciding rationally, but what's truly steering the wheel is their quantum wealth identity, shaped by years of unconscious conditioning. And once they see this, they can't unsee it. A wise guide often says the blueprint functions like a hidden architect, designing the limits and permissions of someone's financial embodiment. It governs how much abundance feels safe, what level of income feels normal, and which opportunities feel too much. These limits don't shout, they sneak into habits, attitudes, and emotional reactions. Someone may unknowingly sabotage a promising offer simply because their vibrational self-image can't support it yet. When this internal map is outdated, attracting wealth becomes a struggle no matter how much effort they pour in. That's why updating the blueprint becomes a turning point rather than a luxury. He likes asking a simple but revealing question: what identity are you defending without noticing? Many people defend identities inherited from childhood, shaped by stories about scarcity, fear, or unworthiness. These stories create an abundance calibration that dictates how much success they allow themselves to experience. Someone carrying a financially fragile identity will naturally retreat from opportunities requiring courage. Meanwhile, a person aligned with abundance identity will lean into expansion with ease. These contrasting internal patterns create drastically different financial paths, even when external circumstances look similar. For those willing to shift, he gives a practical exercise: write a description of the version of yourself who already lives with emotional security, clarity, and prosperity. What does this version believe? How does this version act? This simple reflection strengthens vibrational alignment, almost like fine-tuning money frequency manually. Over time, the clarity gained begins influencing choices without needing force or motivation. The blueprint slowly rewrites itself, responding to the new self-image being rehearsed daily. And the moment this happens, attracting wealth stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a natural expression of identity. He often leans forward and says, "The blueprint doesn't shift because your life gets better, your life gets better because the blueprint shifts." That's the quiet magic behind money resonance and the energetic posture of someone aligned with abundance. As a person rewires who they believe they are, their external results gradually obey the new internal script. Fresh ideas appear, opportunities find them, and a deeper financial embodiment becomes natural. And once this foundation is stable, curiosity naturally grows for the next stage, stepping into the version of themselves who already has money, even before the money arrives. He often says that becoming the version who already has money starts long before any actual cash shows up. It begins in the quiet moments when a person chooses to think, act, and breathe as someone whose wealth identity is already established. This is where vibrational self-image takes the lead, crafting subtle yet powerful shifts in behavior. Instead of reacting to life from scarcity, they begin responding from grounded certainty. The goal isn't pretending to be rich, it's embodying the emotional steadiness of someone aligned with abundance identity. And once that inner shift kicks in, the outer world slowly bends to match it. A wise mentor might chuckle and say, "Your bank account shows up late to the party, your identity gets there first." This means adopting energetic posture before any proof appears, which is often the hardest part. A person starts making choices that align with vibrational alignment, even if they don't see results yet. They treat opportunities with confidence instead of fear, clarity instead of confusion. The version with money doesn't overthink every decision, they trust their money frequency and inner stability. And little by little, these micro shifts begin building a new magnetic field around them. Take a simple example. Someone decides to invest consistently, even if starting with something as small as $20 a week. The amount doesn't matter, the identity does. This action signals money resonance, telling the subconscious, "I am someone who builds wealth, even in small steps." The wealthy mindset focuses on consistency, not urgency. Instead of waiting for the right time, they create momentum from where they are. Over time, these habits reinforce financial embodiment, strengthening the version of them that naturally attracts wealth. And it's always these tiny commitments that compound into quantum wealth identity shifts. He often reminds people that wealthy versions of themselves make decisions differently. They don't rush, cling, or panic. Their inner dialogue sounds calmer, more strategic, more trusting. They evaluate choices by asking, "Is this aligned with who I'm becoming?" rather than, "Can I afford this right now?" This difference subtly rewires their vibrational self-image. A person who wants abundance but thinks like scarcity creates identity conflict. But someone who thinks like wealth, even in small ways, gradually aligns their energy with abundance calibration. And the universe tends to reward those who operate from their future, not their past. Another practical shift he encourages is upgrading the environment someone interacts with daily. For example, reading books that expand financial intelligence, like The Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad Poor Dad, or Think and Grow Rich, sends a signal of vibrational alignment. Surrounding themselves with people who discuss growth instead of limitation boosts their money frequency. Joining a community focused on progress also reinforces financial embodiment. A wealthy identity isn't built in isolation, it's shaped by the rooms a person chooses to enter. And these upgraded rooms make the future self version feel more like home. He often advises practicing emotional rehearsal, imagining how the future wealthy version feels in different situations. How would that version walk into a meeting? How would they respond to a financial setback? How would they talk about money with confidence and ease? This emotional simulation strengthens abundance identity, training the nervous system to normalize prosperity. Over time, the person stops trying to embody wealth and naturally begins living through that upgraded lens. It becomes an automatic state rather than a performance. And this emotional familiarity creates fertile ground for new opportunities. Eventually, a person starts noticing a subtle yet undeniable shift. Life responds differently to them. New ideas appear, unexpected connections arise, and challenges feel smaller than before. This is the power of becoming the version who already has money. Reality begins to mirror the identity instead of the other way around. Money resonance deepens, energetic posture strengthens, and quantum wealth identity becomes second nature. And once this transformation begins, something deeper starts emerging beneath the surface, an emotional signature that separates wealthy identities from everyone else. A wealthy identity carries a very distinct emotional signature, one that can be felt before a single word is spoken. It's a mix of calm certainty and grounded clarity, almost like someone who knows the ending of a movie before it starts. This emotional tone comes from their wealth identity being fully rooted rather than fragile. They move through life with a vibrational self-image that signals stability, trust, and expansion. This emotional steadiness naturally helps them attract wealth without forcing anything. And the more they embody this internal calm, the more the external world adapts to match it. A mentor would say that wealthy people aren't emotionally charged by money, they're emotionally steady around it. Their money frequency isn't frantic, anxious, or desperate. Instead, it's slow, confident, and measured. This doesn't happen by accident, it's trained through years of emotional discipline. They practice sitting with uncertainty without spiraling. They make decisions with a level of clarity that only comes from emotional regulation. And this emotional neutrality becomes one of the strongest signals of abundance identity. He often points out that wealthy individuals don't chase opportunities, they evaluate them. There's no fear of missing out because they trust their money resonance to bring the right chances at the right time. This vibrational alignment gives them space to think creatively instead of reactively. For example, instead of panicking during market fluctuations, they see long-term cycles and adjust calmly. Their emotional signature is what keeps them steady when others are overwhelmed. And it's this emotional steadiness that builds a truly wealthy mindset over time. Consider someone who has trained themselves to pause before reacting to financial stress. Instead of immediately catastrophizing, they breathe, analyze, and respond from a place of grounded awareness. That pause is part of financial embodiment, the ability to stay regulated even when life throws unexpected circumstances. It's in this space that new ideas, solutions, and insights appear. Wealthy identities rely on this regulated emotional posture. They trust that clarity returns when fear dissolves. And their abundance calibration strengthens because of it. Another trait is emotional spaciousness, the sense that there's room for possibilities rather than restriction. Someone aligned with abundance identity doesn't shrink when confronted with challenges, they expand. They ask better questions, show curiosity, and maintain optimism without bypassing reality. This emotional spaciousness increases their vibrational alignment, making them more receptive to opportunities that others overlook. It's like having an inner compass always pointing toward expansion. And the more they practice this emotional openness, the more quantum wealth identity becomes their natural state. He also emphasizes emotional resilience, the kind that allows a person to bounce back without losing their center. Wealthy identities don't take failures personally, they treat them as data. If an investment goes wrong, they study it. If a deal falls through, they learn from it. This resilience is part of an advanced energetic posture that keeps them moving. While others spiral into self-doubt, they recalibrate quickly. And this emotional rebound effect becomes a powerful magnet for growth, creativity, and new income streams. Eventually, someone begins to realize that the emotional signature of wealth isn't about being happy all the time, it's about being anchored. It's a knowing that they can hold more, handle more, and create more without collapsing inside. This anchoring becomes the heartbeat of money frequency. And as it strengthens, it naturally exposes something hiding underneath, the old scarcity-driven self-image that needs to be broken before true expansion can continue unfolding. Many people don't realize that their scarcity self-image wasn't created by choice, it was inherited. A wise mentor would say, you learned scarcity before you learned math. Childhood environments, financial turbulence, and emotional instability all imprint themselves into someone's wealth identity. These early impressions shape a vibrational self-image that feels small, restricted, and cautious. And because it feels familiar, they mistake it for reality. Breaking this internal structure begins with recognizing that scarcity is not a personality trait, it's a pattern. And patterns can be rewired with intention and consistency. He often explains that a scarcity self-image survives through repetition. It survives in the little thoughts like, I can't, it's too risky, or money never stays with me. These subtle phrases generate a money frequency rooted in contraction. When a person thinks small, they behave small, and the universe responds accordingly. To break this cycle, they must begin interrupting these patterns the moment they arise. Even something as simple as saying, this thought is old, weakens scarcity's grip. This is where vibrational alignment starts turning in their favor, slowly shifting them into a wealthier emotional posture. One powerful exercise he gives is journaling the exact identity someone believes they must be to attract wealth, and then noticing how different it is from the identity they currently uphold. For instance, someone might desire abundance identity but still carry beliefs like, I don't deserve more, or success is dangerous. This inner conflict keeps them trapped in old behaviors, even when they consciously want change. By rewriting these narratives, they begin building financial embodiment. It's not about lying to themselves, it's about choosing beliefs that no longer sabotage their future. A mentor would often say, scarcity hides in silence. It hides in the decisions someone avoids, the conversations they fear, the opportunities they reject without even exploring. Someone stuck in scarcity won't negotiate salaries, won't ask for help, won't try new income streams, and won't risk being seen. This emotional avoidance reinforces their abundance calibration in the wrong direction. Breaking the scarcity self-image means leaning into discomfort with a curious heart. When a person does something slightly uncomfortable, like pitching an idea, applying for a bigger role, or investing for the first time, their vibrational alignment expands. Another key step is upgrading self-trust. Scarcity-trained individuals often trust fear more than intuition. They assume the worst outcome is the most likely outcome. Wealthy identities, however, practice trusting their ability to recover, adapt, and learn. This mindset shift strengthens their money resonance, giving them space to act boldly. Practical ways to build self-trust include following through on small commitments, setting achievable goals, and tracking wins daily. These small actions accumulate into quantum wealth identity shifts, reinforcing the idea, I can handle more than I thought. He often reminds people that breaking scarcity isn't about becoming reckless, it's about becoming expansive. It's the difference between, what if it fails, and, what if it transforms my life? This shift in internal questioning rewires energetic posture. Someone aligned with wealth begins to feel bigger inside their own body, more grounded, more open, more capable. They stop shrinking when life demands growth. And perhaps most importantly, they begin making decisions that reflect possibility instead of limitation. This is how the vibrational self-image starts to stretch toward abundance. Eventually, as someone dismantles the scarcity identity, they begin noticing new desires emerging, desires that once felt too big. These desires reveal the next phase of transformation, adopting daily behaviors that reinforce a high-frequency wealth identity. Because once scarcity no longer drives their choices, the door opens to a new question: what actions does a person take when their identity is aligned with abundance rather than fear? A person aligned with a high-frequency wealth identity moves through life with intentional, grounded action. They don't rush, but they also don't wait for perfect conditions. Their wealth identity guides them toward choices that expand their future instead of protecting their past. Every action they take reinforces their vibrational self-image, strengthening the belief that they are someone who naturally attracts wealth. This is where money frequency becomes visible in daily habits rather than lofty ideals. And it's through these consistent, aligned behaviors that abundance identity becomes the default rather than the exception. One of the first actions he encourages is creating a simple but sacred morning ritual that calibrates vibrational alignment. Wealthy identities often begin their day with practices that regulate their nervous system: breathwork, journaling, silence, gratitude, or reading something deeply inspiring. These rituals send a powerful signal to the subconscious: I am someone who leads my life, not someone who reacts to it. Even reading 10 minutes of a book like Atomic Habits or The Psychology of Money strengthens financial embodiment. Small rituals create strong foundations for money resonance to flourish. He also teaches that wealthy identities have a different relationship with time. Instead of being overwhelmed by tasks, they prioritize what actually moves the needle. They choose high-impact actions over busy work, which creates energetic posture that feels expansive rather than pressured. This might look like reaching out to potential collaborators, investing in a skill, or dedicating focused time to a passion project. Wealthy mindsets understand that time is an investment, not a threat. And by treating time with intention, their quantum wealth identity becomes more coherent and empowered. Financial actions also shift. Someone aligned with abundance calibration doesn't avoid money, they engage with it. They track their finances without fear, automate savings, and invest regularly, even if the amounts are modest at first. They might explore index funds, diversified portfolios, or long-term financial planning tools. These actions build trust in their money frequency and reinforce financial embodiment. Rather than hoping for wealth, they behave like someone who is building it brick by brick. This behavioral alignment becomes magnetic, drawing new resources and opportunities into their orbit. Another action wealthy identities take is surrounding themselves with people who challenge them to grow. They intentionally choose communities, conversations, and environments that elevate their vibrational alignment. For instance, joining a mastermind, attending workshops, or connecting with entrepreneurs creates expansion. These spaces normalize success, reduce fear, and increase abundance identity. A person becomes influenced by the standards of the room they're in. And when the room is filled with people who think bigger, create boldly, and take aligned risks, their money resonance strengthens effortlessly. He also emphasizes creative action, taking steps that express someone's gifts, ideas, and talents with confidence. Wealthy identities don't hide, they share. This might look like posting valuable insights online, launching a small side business, offering a service, or expressing a creative project they've been sitting on for years. These actions signal vibrational self-image expansion. They show the universe that the person is willing to be seen, willing to contribute, and willing to grow. Creativity, when acted upon, becomes a magnet for abundance and a catalyst for quantum wealth identity shifts. Eventually, these high-frequency actions build a life that feels aligned, intentional, and steadily expanding. Each choice reinforces a wealthy mindset, making abundance feel more natural than scarcity ever did. And once these behaviors become the new normal, a person begins noticing deeper layers beneath their actions, the ones where desire and identity wrestle with each other. Because no matter how aligned the behavior is, if the identity still whispers, "You don't deserve it," something inside won't let the abundance fully land. Many people believe their lack of abundance comes from not wanting wealth enough, but desire is rarely the problem. The real issue is internal incongruence, wanting money while holding an identity that contradicts that desire. A wise mentor would say, desire is the gas pedal, but identity is the engine. If the identity is weak, hesitant, or rooted in scarcity, even the strongest desire cannot move someone forward. Their wealth identity remains fragmented, and their vibrational self-image quietly blocks the flow. This inner misalignment creates friction in their money frequency before any external action even begins. He often explains that desire without identity creates emotional whiplash. One moment someone feels inspired, ready to attract wealth, the next, they shrink into doubt. This back-and-forth movement confuses their vibrational alignment, creating a signal the universe cannot respond to. They may affirm abundance identity, but their nervous system still holds memories of rejection, failure, or lack. It's like trying to tune into money resonance while another station plays static in the background. Breaking this internal tug-of-war is essential for true financial embodiment. An example he gives is someone who wants to earn more but feels guilty charging their worth. They desire abundance but identify as someone who must stay affordable or nice. This identity sabotages income long before opportunities arrive. Another example is someone who wants investments but believes wealth is unstable or unsafe. These beliefs override desire and reinforce abundance calibration in the wrong direction. The person ends up living in conflict. The mind wants expansion, but the identity clings to limitation. Until the identity shifts, results stay stuck. The key to resolving this conflict is recognizing that identity speaks louder than desire. Wealthy mindsets don't just dream about abundance, they normalize it. They rehearse the emotional state of someone aligned with prosperity until it becomes familiar. A person may start by practicing small acts of alignment, like asking for what they deserve, negotiating, or setting boundaries. These actions send a message to their vibrational self-image: I am becoming someone who receives more. Over time, this creates strong energetic posture that supports money frequency instead of resisting it. He often encourages people to notice where desire feels heavy instead of exciting. Heavy desire usually comes from a mismatched identity. For example, someone might desire a big financial goal but feel overwhelmed by it. This overwhelm signals that their internal identity isn't calibrated yet. The solution isn't to push harder, it's to adjust abundance calibration. They might scale the goal into phases, strengthen supportive habits, or shift their self-concept with daily identity statements. These small calibrations create quantum wealth identity shifts that gradually align desire with capability. Another powerful practice is emotional congruence, allowing the body to feel the identity someone wants to grow into. This involves imagining themselves speaking, walking, deciding, and responding as someone who already embodies abundance identity. When the nervous system gets used to this feeling, resistance dissolves. Their vibrational alignment deepens, and the body finally stops fighting the mind. This integration allows money resonance to flow without interruption. It's not about pretending, it's about aligning internally so that desire and identity finally move in the same direction. Eventually, once desire and identity stop contradicting each other, something powerful happens, results accelerate. Opportunities show up faster, decisions feel clearer, and abundance becomes easier to hold. Internal congruence creates emotional stability, and stability amplifies wealth identity. And once someone reaches this level of alignment, they start seeing money behavior for what it truly is, a reflection of identity itself, revealing the parts that still need upgrading. A wise mentor often says, if you want to know someone's identity, don't look at what they say, look at how they handle money. Money behavior is identity behavior dressed in numbers, receipts, and decisions. A person's wealth identity quietly shows itself in every financial choice they make, from small spending habits to major investments. Their vibrational self-image shapes how confidently they earn, how responsibly they manage, and how courageously they grow financially. This is why two people with the same income can live completely different lives. One operates from money frequency aligned with expansion, the other from contraction. Someone with an abundance identity behaves differently around money. They don't treat it like a fragile guest but like a trusted partner. They make decisions with clarity, pacing, and long-term vision. Their vibrational alignment reduces impulsive spending and increases intentionality. Instead of buying to escape emotions, they invest to build their future. Even simple practices, like setting aside a fixed percentage for savings or consistently reviewing spending, strengthen financial embodiment. These small, steady behaviors reflect a wealthy mindset far more than grand gestures ever could. He often gives the example of two people receiving the same unexpected $500. One immediately spends it out of relief or excitement, the other asks, how can this create more value? That single question reveals abundance calibration. The first person reacts emotionally, the second responds strategically. Over time, these small patterns accumulate into drastically different financial realities. Money resonance thrives in environments of clarity, discipline, and intentionality. And when identity is aligned with wealth, the person naturally behaves in ways that attract more abundance. Another example he uses is how someone handles recurring expenses. A scarcity-driven identity avoids looking at bills, feels tension when paying them, or delays important financial decisions. A wealthy identity, on the other hand, faces numbers head-on and pays with energetic posture that communicates confidence rather than fear. They see bills as part of their flow, not as proof of lack. This emotional neutrality strengthens vibrational alignment and allows money to move without resistance. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. Wealthy identities also behave differently when it comes to opportunities. Someone rooted in scarcity might say, I can't risk losing, while someone aligned with quantum wealth identity says, what's the cost of staying the same? This difference in thinking shapes their behavior. They research, take calculated risks, and diversify wisely. They might invest in index funds, begin a side business, or join a mentorship program that expands their worldview. These actions don't come from desperation, they come from a stable internal identity that trusts itself. He often emphasizes that consistent behavior matters more than occasional big decisions. Saving once is easy, saving every week requires identity. Investing once is exciting, investing through uncertainty requires identity. Showing discipline when circumstances are stable is simple, showing discipline when life feels chaotic requires identity. This is how money frequency is sculpted, not through intensity, but through alignment. When behaviors match the person they want to become, their abundance identity grows stronger than their old patterns. Eventually, a person begins seeing that every financial decision, big or small, mirrors the identity they currently hold. And this realization opens a powerful door. If behavior reflects identity, then changing behavior can also reshape identity. This insight becomes the bridge to the next crucial layer of transformation, learning how to regulate the nervous system so it can safely hold more money without collapsing into old patterns. A wealthy identity isn't sustained only by mindset or behavior, it's held by the nervous system. A wise mentor would say, your body must feel safe with the level of abundance you want. If the body feels overwhelmed, unsafe, or threatened by expansion, it will unconsciously sabotage your financial growth. This is why someone can attract wealth but struggle to keep it. Their vibrational self-image may desire more, but their nervous system is calibrated for less. Regulating the body's internal state becomes essential for aligning with money frequency and creating lasting abundance identity. He often explains that the nervous system reacts to money the same way it reacts to emotional stress. If someone grew up with instability, conflict, or scarcity, their body associates money with pressure or fear. Even positive financial changes can trigger anxiety, doubt, or self-sabotage. This mismatch disrupts vibrational alignment. To shift this, a person must create emotional safety around wealth. Practices like grounding, slow breathing, meditation, or gentle movement help the body relax. And a relaxed body allows money resonance to flow more freely. One practical example he gives is observing how the body reacts when checking bank balances. Some people tense up, others avoid looking altogether. These reactions reveal abundance calibration at the nervous system level. A wealthy mindset doesn't flinch at numbers, it interprets them neutrally. To embody this, he suggests creating a ritual of checking finances while breathing intentionally, lowering the heart rate, and practicing curiosity instead of judgment. Over time, this rewires the nervous system and builds financial embodiment from the inside out. He often emphasizes that capacity is just as important as desire. Someone may desire $10,000 months or major investments, but if their nervous system panics at the thought of holding responsibility, receiving support, or managing multiple income streams, they'll unintentionally push opportunities away. Expanding capacity means exposing the body to new levels of abundance slowly but consistently. This can look like handling slightly larger investments, raising prices gradually, or holding bigger goals without collapsing emotionally. Each small stretch strengthens energetic posture. Another powerful tool is somatic rehearsal, teaching the body to feel safe with expansion before it happens. This involves imagining receiving more money, negotiating confidently, or handling financial growth while remaining calm and regulated. The nervous system learns through repetition, not logic. By rehearsing these scenarios, the person strengthens their quantum wealth identity. They begin associating abundance with safety instead of danger. And this internal shift dramatically increases their ability to attract wealth and hold it with ease. He likes reminding people that wealthy identities don't avoid discomfort, they regulate within it. When faced with risk, uncertainty, or change, they don't collapse, they breathe, ground, and stay present. This emotional resilience helps maintain vibrational self-image even under pressure. Instead of spiraling into fear, they return to alignment. Their money frequency stabilizes because they stabilize. And this stability becomes the emotional foundation that allows wealth to expand sustainably rather than chaotically. Eventually, as someone strengthens their nervous system, they begin to feel an internal steadiness they may have never felt before. This is the moment abundance starts feeling normal instead of exceptional. Their body relaxes into prosperity, and their identity expands with it. And once this level of safety is embodied, the next step becomes almost intuitive, crafting the energetic posture that signals to the universe that they already live in abundance. Energetic posture is the silent language of abundance, the way someone holds themselves internally long before they take any external action. A wise mentor would say, "You don't attract what you want, you attract what you broadcast." This posture is formed by a blend of belief, emotion, and subtle body cues that reflect a person's wealth identity. When someone carries themselves with grounded assurance, their vibrational self-image strengthens instantly. This creates a steady money frequency the universe responds to with clarity. And this invisible stance becomes a powerful magnet for abundance identity. He often explains that energetic posture is not about faking confidence or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to operate from internal stability rather than external circumstance. Someone aligned with vibrational alignment doesn't collapse just because things look uncertain. Instead, they breathe deeper, think cleaner, and act from calm awareness. This calmness signals to their subconscious that expansion is safe. And when safety increases, so does money resonance. It's a subtle shift, but it changes how every opportunity is perceived. One practical example is how someone walks into a room. A scarcity-trained identity enters apologetically, hoping not to be judged. A wealthy mindset walks in with open shoulders, steady breath, and a sense of belonging. That physical stance transmits energetic posture instantly. Another example is how they speak about money. Instead of whispering about their goals or downplaying desires, they speak with clarity and neutrality. These small cues reshape abundance calibration, telling the world, and themselves, that they're ready for more. He often emphasizes that energetic posture is shaped by the conversations people have internally. Someone aligned with quantum wealth identity doesn't say, "I hope this works." They say, "I trust myself regardless of the outcome." This inner dialogue creates vibrational alignment that feels consistent instead of chaotic. Even when things don't unfold perfectly, they maintain a steady inner presence. This emotional consistency attracts wealth because wealth thrives in stable environments. And the more stable their inner world becomes, the more their financial embodiment expands. Another important aspect of energetic posture is how a person responds to challenges. Scarcity identities tighten, contract, and assume danger. Wealthy identities expand, breathe, and assume solvable problems. This expansion increases abundance identity, allowing the person to find solutions faster. Instead of spiraling into fear, they hold themselves with curiosity and creativity. This posture keeps their money frequency clean and open. And because they stay emotionally present, opportunities that others miss often appear right in front of them. He teaches that energetic posture also expresses itself in how someone handles receiving help, receiving compliments, receiving money, receiving opportunities. Many people unconsciously push abundance away because their vibrational self-image feels unworthy or overwhelmed. Practicing conscious receiving strengthens abundance calibration. It might look like saying thank you without deflecting, accepting support without guilt, or celebrating financial wins without minimizing them. This ability to receive openly is one of the strongest markers of money resonance. Eventually, a person begins living with an inner posture that signals abundance even before abundance arrives. Their energy feels clearer, their actions feel aligned, and their identity feels expansive. And once this energetic foundation is stable, they naturally feel pulled toward the next evolution, calibrating their identity for even bigger financial goals, without triggering internal conflict or scarcity.